Today, we're going to discuss what is probate. You might hear or read that term tossed around a lot related to estate planning in the basis that people want to avoid it. But at the end of the day, probate is simply a court system. Every state has their own version of probate, and that's basically where you go to find out who a judge will appoint to be in charge of an estate. So if you pass away, they appoint who's in charge of making sure that your assets go to the heirs who are legally entitled to receive them. It is also designed to handle the instance where you have a minor or an incapacitated adult, which is somebody who can't make their own decisions, whether financially or medically, to make sure that there's someone appointed to make those decisions and care for them if needed. So one way to think of probate is basically that it is a plan for those who don't have a plan. So if you haven't done any estate planning to avoid probate, you're leaving it up to a probate judge to figure out who's in charge of your finances if you're incapacitated, who's going to be guardian of your children if something happens to you and you leave minor children, and who's going to be in charge of getting your assets gathered and inventoried and paying your creditors, and ultimately distributing your estate out to your heirs. That's where probate comes in, and you have a judge who's trying to fill in the gaps that you may have left if you didn't have any planning. But this is a court proceeding, so your family members are going to have to get on a court schedule. They're going to have to file in, get a case number. These court records are public, and it'll be a judge ultimately deciding the things along the way. And there are ways to make this cheaper. There are ways to make this easier on your loved ones after you pass by doing a little bit of planning. It is not a must. You don't have to do probate. There are ways to avoid it altogether if that is your goal. But the key is to actually sit down and put your goals and your plans in writing before you pass and before you become incapacitated.